Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. I am Raz, that is Stephen, and Kai got the shit scared out of him. That's exactly what we're here for, isn't it?
Yeah,
How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, buddy. How you been doing?
I'm doing okay. Been tired as hell, been working way too much. We've got Ricky in the chat saying AEW will be dead in 4 years or less.
Nah.
Wrong. It's been 5 years and they're still here. So, um, what did you think of tonight's overall episode in just like the overall of it?
It's a good show. I enjoyed the show, really. I enjoyed the Brody Lee tribute. They remember Brody Lee. It's hard to believe it's already been at least 3 years that he passed.
It's crazy, isn't it? Three
Yes, it
years ago.
is. Time flies, man. I was like, it's been that long already. This doesn't seem like it's been 3 years.
It doesn't. It doesn't feel like it. And then it's been more than 6 months since Bray Wyatt passed away as well. It's been almost 6 months since Bray Wyatt has left us as well. So, two members of the Wyatt family gone.
But there's one thing I didn't like about the show. I'll say this much.
Yep.
I'm sure we'll probably go into it later on. Is the finish of the Ricky and Sammy match.
Yeah, we'll get to that as we go through the show. Overall, this wasn't as strong as last week's.
No.
I can kind of agree with Ricky on this. It was a good moment, but not a like super fantastic show. Last week was really solid for them. They had a good foundation to the start of the year.
Mm-hmm.
This one was good. It did encapsulate some of the younger talent, but you still had segments that could have been left out and could have just stayed away.
Yeah, it's understandable.
I do have to say I like the use of the women in the 8-man or the 8-women match. So we got that. That was good.
Mm-hmm.
We got the 8-man match as well. That was pretty good. We'll get talking about that very shortly. One thing I didn't like was the main event. I was not too big of a fan of that.
I'll tell you the truth. I missed most of the match because I had to took Peaches out.
Fair enough.
So
we'll break that down, but we'll get to that towards the end of this. So let's get straight into it. First match of the night, Hangman versus Claudio. I thought this was a banger of a match. It's a first-time match that we've ever seen with these two. First time for Claudio in the Daily's place. So I think the crowd turnout for Daily's was really good as well. Like you said when we were watching along, the camera placement was off. It was weird. They had it to the side when every time that they've been there previously, it's been facing the where the people are sitting on the stage area.
Mm-hmm.
But this time it was off. So I think that's what gave it a bit of a weird feel for this show. However, this match, in my opinion, great match. Good to see they trusted. I like the fact that they had on Hangman's little ticker thing saying habitually late for work, in reference to him turning up 15 minutes before the end of the show.
Plus, I remember Kai put on there saying, "Oh, Hangman's actually on time this week."
Yeah, he's either on time this week or late for last week. One of the two. We're going to get to that, Ricky.
We'll get to that there, buddy.
We will definitely get to that. I'm in mixed minds for that, but we will get there. What did you think of the Claudio Hangman match? Like, did you think it could have been better? Do you think it could have been worse?
I think it could have been better, though, but I kind of really surprised how clean the match was.
Yeah.
A clean finish, you know.
It took
Other
two
than that,
buckshots.
that's a good match.
Like, it was two buckshots that ended the match.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that they did use the ramp. I say ramp, but the ramp and steps for part of the match where Hangman ran over and then clotheslined Claudio into the ring. I think that was really good. The fact that we got the two buckshots to end the match was really good. Definitely a strong, solid opening match. It was almost 20 minutes long, so almost at that sweet spot. Almost at that sweet spot for a match.
Yep. It's a good match. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, yeah. Second match of the night we had was Orange Cassidy, Adam Copeland, Preston Vance, and Dustin Rhodes versus Brian Cage, Gates of Agony, and Lance Archer. Obviously, Preston coming out with the tribute to Brody Lee. We also had the video package before this match highlighting Brody Lee, which they showed footage of Cody. They showed footage of Brody's whole time, and that Preston and Anna Jay were two people that were handpicked by Brody. Obviously, it's a weird choice teaming Preston with Orange, Adam, and Dustin, but I understand why for the tribute to Brody sort of situation.
I also like the Copeland shirt. I looked at the shop, see if they have it. They don't have it yet. It says John Huber Forever on there.
Yeah, with the Canadian maple leaf. Yeah, I'm expecting it's probably going to be up on the shop in a few days.
It's a cool shirt.
You never know. It's one of those things you never know. Sometimes AEW's really quick with it. Sometimes they suck in regards to getting it up. So
yeah, true.
Preston obviously wins this match with the discus lariat. Once again, a throwback to Huber, who used that as his finisher. Not much you can really say besides obviously the teasing of Lance Archer and Gates of Agony sort of situation there.
Some dissension.
Because they didn't want to tag him in. So what do you think in that regard?
I wouldn't mind a Lance Archer babyface turn. To tell you the truth, they're not been using Archer very much in AEW. What? Oh,
all proceeds of the shirt go to his father, Christian Cage. That's another thing. We didn't see Christian on this episode of Dynamite. So,
that's a good one, Ricky.
Yeah, but what did you think about Preston getting that little bit of exposure on Dynamite this week?
Well, it's good for them remembering Brody Lee and all that, and it's all good.
Yeah, I think one thing AEW needs to do is definitely bring the younger talent back into the fold and bring them to the A show as it's known, because that's one thing that they were really, really good at. They were really good at showcasing their young talent to get further along and what built them to where they are now. They would use the established talent from WWE in a not an enhancement way, but they would use them as a just enough to keep their talent pool even.
Another thing that's unusual, though, they were heels last week, and now they're baby faces.
Yeah, I don't know. Guy says, man, Christian is going to have a field day when -1 finally debuts. We've got another 5 years, I think.
Christian ain't going to be able to wrestle in 5 years, I don't think.
I think -1 is 13. Let me have a look.
Pardon me here.
I think -1 is 13.
What's the name of what's his son's first name?
Brody Lee Jr., isn't it?
Is it John Huber Jr.?
No, it's Brody Lee Jr.
Oh, is it?
-1 bit. Yeah, I don't know his actual age. Brody Lee Jr., born on January 17th, 2012. 11
He's 11
years
years old. He's 11.
So we've got 7 years before
Yeah.
then whether or not Christian will come along, different story. So if Christian's still around then, there probably will be a storyline involved.
With a cane. Walker. He's joking.
Next up, we had the Bullet Club Gold backstage, and they were talking about how they wanted to be dressed in gold. The Acclaimed came in, said that they've got the gold, and then how about we become a super faction? Now,
imagine the T-shirt.
I've heard for the first time ever, like hearing someone call themselves a faction is interesting. But they pitched the name of the Bang Bang Scissor Gang.
Imagine the T-shirt. Bang Bang Scissor Me.
I kind of like it. I kind of like Bang Bang Scissor Gang.
Oh,
I think it would be a great shirt, and yeah, I don't think it would hurt for the Bullet Club Gold to be baby faces for a temporary amount of time.
Yeah, we'll see how long it will last, though.
Kai reckons Christian's going to make sure he gets even more, 7 more years out of him just for it. Sesame Timbers. I liked the pink and gold tees. Yes, pink and gold for Bullet Club Gold. I could see it. I could see pink and gold tees with a gun and a pair of scissors, like just for the shirt, for the Bang Bang Scissor Gang.
One with a gun and the other with the scissors, side by side, back to back.
Yes. Perfect. AEW merchandise, get on it.
That'd be cool.
Copyright Steven.
There you go. And Tony Khan, Dexplin needs some money. Thank you very much. But anyway.
So after that, we go to a commercial. We then get the champion, Samoa Joe, coming out to the ring with his brand new AEW title.
Like the new title. Really like it.
No longer on the Burberry style strap, and slight change to the aesthetic of it with side plates now.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think of the title? And we'll get more into the challenges that come along after.
I like the title, especially the side plates.
Yeah,
I enjoy the side plates.
I think the side plate idea is a good idea in theory if you are going to aim to merchandise it. Because just getting a nameplate across the bottom doesn't do it if you're going to merchandise it.
Yeah.
Because with side plates, you can put little graphics on it. You can put exactly like WWE did with their side plates. You can put them in place and you can have them as interchangeable between every single wrestler. So it gives each person a bit more customizability for the belts, and it gives everyone who buys it the options then to go and buy their favorite wrestler's side plate.
Do they have it for the TNT titles, the other titles?
No, this is the first title that AEW has done with side plates.
Well, AEW will do the same thing for all the titles.
Yeah. WWE have it for the Universal and the women's. So they just don't have it for the world title versions. But next in that segment, we got Swerve Strickland coming out, declaring his shot. We get Hangman coming out, calling his shot. And then we get Hook declaring his intentions for the world title.
Well, I think we might see Swerve versus Joe probably at Revolution. Unless
I'd hold off on Swerve versus Joe. I would, if I'm going with these three as my next three challenges, I put Hangman first. Well, actually, they've already put Hook first. But I put Hangman and then I put Swerve afterwards.
I would wait. Rick may turn into a triple threat maybe at Revolution.
Ricky's right. You definitely you hold off on Swerve.
I agree with that. But do we really need another Hangman versus Swerve match though? I don't think we don't need another match.
I think Ricky's kind of got it right here. Have Hangman Swerve 3 because they're at a rubber.
The Holy Crap album twice.
Yeah. But if you have that, then you go. Then Hangman goes for the belt, loses to Joe, and then you have Swerve and Joe.
At Revolution.
You've got more credibility. I think that Swerve needs to wait until at least Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing, not Revolution?
Yeah.
Because Revolution's in March.
Yeah. Swerve, C. Henry says, Swerve will probably challenge for the title at Double or Nothing. And that's where I think it should. I think it should be there, and I think that's where he wins it. And then you build from there, you build Swerve versus Ospreay for All In.
That would be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Because Ospreay's going to get, or Swerve's going to get a huge, everybody's going to do the dance at All In.
Mm-hmm.
But the minute Ospreay comes out, that's going to shatter that at All In. And you give Ospreay the win, you're going to have that place fucking explode.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So
London will be rocking.
Fantasy booking, you have Hangman first, or you have Hook, who's getting it next week on Dynamite. And we all know that Hook's not going to win. But yeah,
it's like Joe's beating up a little kid.
And then you go Hangman, and then you go Swerve.
I don't think Omega will be ready at All In there, Ricky.
Omega won't be ready for All In, and if he is,
he's in bad shape. I understand.
If Omega is going to be at All In, he will be up against someone else. It won't be Swerve. It'll be Ospreay. Ospreay will main event All In this year.
Yeah.
So if Swerve does win it back the following week at All Out, so
that's another story for All Out.
Yeah. We're not going that far ahead.
Yeah.
We're not going to go to All Out.
Different
We'll go to
story.
All In. We'll stop there.
Yeah. Let's concentrate on Revolution there, guys, first. And then Double or Nothing afterwards.
I think at Revolution, it's Hangman.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's Swerve at Double or Nothing. And from Double or Nothing, you've got Swerve as the champion through until he faces Ospreay in All In. And you have those three as your champions for the first part of the first 3 quarters of this year. Because it gives Joe a semi-decent run. It gives it gives Swerve a run with the belt and to build himself up. And then you're going to project Ospreay to the main event and you're going to just skyrocket him. Ospreay's already a big name and a big draw card for Japan. So he's going to skyrocket that belt even further.
Mm-hmm.
And doing it in his hometown is just exactly what it's one of Tony Khan's favorite things besides cocaine. I like the fact that when Hook came out, he wasn't so scared of Joe, that they went nose to nose. I like that. I'm keen to see it, and I want to see how hard they go in the match. I want them to do a hard match. I don't want it to be just a soft fucking like a quick squash match. I want it to be a hard.
I know one thing though. Hook's not gonna do those suplexes to Joe like he's doing to other people.
Oh, for sure.
Because Joe's got at least 100-pound weight advantage on him.
Ricky says he can't wait for Joe to tap out this punk kid. Joe's definitely going to tap him out. But Hook has had momentum all the way through his career. Is he ready for a world title match? No. Is he ready to be world heavyweight champion? No. But he's got years. He's got years to go in his career.
Yeah.
He will still be able to do it. You're just a joy, ain't you, bud? Next segment we got was Toni Storm backstage. Nothing really super fantastic in regards to this. It was just another segment for her.
I will have a meeting with Perazo.
Yeah.
Pretty much it.
Yeah. Hook is starting to look like Sally Jesse Raphael. Shit.
Crap.
No comment on the grounds that may incriminate me and show my age.
That's a name I haven't heard. That's a name I haven't heard in years.
I mean, at least he didn't say
Phil Donahue.
Say Geraldo. Once Hook puts on about 25 pounds of muscle, he'll be a major player. You're not wrong. I think the fact that Hook is so young is what has got him over. And he's not following in his dad's footsteps in that regard. Like, he's not coming in and relying on his dad's name.
I think his contract runs out this year.
Sorry?
I think his Hook's contract's run out this year.
There's a lot of contracts that run out this year.
I think he's one of them.
Because there was a lot of contracts across all companies.
Because there's some speculation you might go to WWE when his contract is out.
I don't think he will. I think if he goes anywhere, he'll go on an excursion to Japan. And then he'll come back from Japan stronger than before.
I agree. I think Hook's better off to start learning, craft in Japan, go to Japan. I agree with that. Yeah.
Look, Ricky, I thought
He's
that was going to be the case, but because when I first saw Hook, I'm like, why the fuck are people going crazy over this kid?
Yeah.
But
and Excalibur doing his famous line every time he sees Hook, "Cool, handsome devil."
Yeah,
it's his famous words when he walks down the aisle.
C. Henry says, I honestly doubt WWE would want Hook. I'm in agreement there. I think unless he builds himself a name and builds himself a brand, like in Japan, maybe even a stop in TNA, maybe with the way TNA is going, like their rebranding, he could have a stop there, and then rebuild himself. If he builds a brand out of himself.
I'll tell you the truth, though. I'm really surprised they're giving Hook a title shot this right off the bat. You know, I kind of figured give him some more wrestlers, as far as wrestle more mid-carders.
Jake reckons that Wardlow and Ricky Starks will jump ship when their contracts end. Ricky Starks, yes. Wardlow, probably not.
Ricky Starks in WWE would be an awesome fit for Ricky. And Ricky's only 33 years old, and he's, sky's the limit for Ricky in WWE if he goes over there. Wardlow, I don't see him go to the E either. I can see him stay at AEW.
I think if Wardlow doesn't stay in AEW, he ends up in TNA.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see him jumping to WWE and being put in a program. He would be put to NXT, and he'd have to build himself up.
Yeah,
it's like Jade Cargill. She was signed to AEW. She got momentum. WWE have signed her, but what are they doing with her?
Yep. But I will say Ricky Starks, if he goes to E, I don't see him go to NXT, though. I can see him go to the main roster right off the bat.
Kai says, put Wardlow in Japan. Imagine how much of a monster he could be over there. I would say yes, and you'd put him in something like I wouldn't put him in Bullet Club. I wouldn't put him in Bullet Club. I'd put him in either Chaos or I would put him in LIJ.
Suzuki's on.
I'd put him in LIJ, actually, alongside Naito. Really? He got squash matches for most of his career.
Yep.
Yes, they fumbled on him a couple of times when he was white hot. But at the end of the day, he also had mental health issues, which is why he wasn't there.
Yep.
Hello, AJ. Thanks for coming and stopping past. I appreciate that. Try not to work too hard.
No problem, buddy. No problem, in the morning.
So next up, after that match, next up we had Sammy Guevara and Ricky Starks.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy Guevara wins the match. They go for the handshake at the end. Holds on too long. Big Bill attacks. Jericho makes the save. Jericho's music plays for fucking ever.
Somebody forgot to turn the music off.
Why? Like, obviously Jericho is in this for the situation of he needs to get his name out there again, but the ending of that was kind of stupid.
I agree, but they're making it so obvious that they're going to get the tag titles at Battle of the Belts.
I hope they don't. I really, really hope they don't. I really hope they pull the rug out and go, nah, we're keeping the belts on Starks and Bill. But Starks and Bill need competitors who are good enough to go for the belts.
You have to admit, though, it's Big Bill's best run. in the AEW.
Yeah. Kai says he doesn't know how that song is so over. It's such a bad song.
I enjoyed the song. I know it gets old though.
It's Jericho, and Jericho at the time got it over because it was his. People enjoy the repetitiveness, and if they can catch on to something and use it, they will. The fine example is the yes chant, like the yes movement, the what.
See what Ricky said.
the what chants, the LA Knights yeah chant. No, yes and no. I'm not going to go into a debate in regards to Fozzie's music. We're not here for that right now, Kai. And if you want to debate that, come on the video and we'll debate it. Come
debate
on
on
to
Discord
and we'll debate it. No, come in here now and we'll get to debate it.
Okay.
I'll send you a link and you can click in and join us.
There you go.
So that whole segment, I think Jericho's making the save was bloody obvious. I thought it was stupid because obviously they kept the music playing for so damn long. I know, Kai. Maybe one day soon. One day soon. We'll figure it out.
Got plenty of time to talk about that, buddy.
Yeah. I think Jericho making the save was obvious. The music continuing, very stupid. I think they could have. Yeah, probably the person who pressed the button signed an NDA. Next up, we had the women's 8 women match. Willow, Statlander, Anna Jay, and Thunder Rosa versus Julia Hart, Saraya, Ruby, and Sky Blue. I think the best entrance of them all is Julia Hart.
Hands down.
She's got the best women's entrance I have seen ever. A lot of things I find wrong with this match. Mainly the teaming up of Anna Jay in there. Once again,
that though, the spot on Willow on the head under that's jeez.
Yep. Jake says Chris Jericho and Sammy get the world title. It's a battle of the belts. We get Sting and Darby versus Chris Jericho and Sammy for the world tag team titles at Revolution. With Sting and Darby winning.
No.
Well, not if you saw the end of the show tonight. If you saw the end of the show tonight, you know that that's not going to be the case.
Okay, Jake's suspended for a week. I was joking.
Let's talk about that spot with Willow and that head bump.
Man, jeez.
Good move, bad bump.
Yes, it is.
Good move, bad bump. I think that the move was really well executed. I like the look of it, and it looked fucking painful. Bad bump because of what we know about concussions. And that shit can fuck you up. So I think that was a stupid move to put that in the match.
I agree.
I think if they were going to do it, they should have done it as she took her legs out and fell to the mat rather than the turnbuckle. Because it would have been safer. Thunder Rosa coming back again or being there again.
I like it when she's full makeup, though.
Yeah, rather than just the half face.
But I don't like the blonde hair, though.
You don't like the hair?
The blonde hair, no. I like it when she's dark color, the hair.
Well, she's had when she first came in, she had a lot shorter hair, so she's
Yeah.
grown her hair out quite dramatically, and yeah, she has changed a hell of a lot.
That's the first time I think I see her with blonde hair.
Oh, she was blonde hair when she returned. And if you've been looking at her Instagram, she's had blonde hair for a while. But
Okay.
yes, I think darker hair suits her.
I agree.
Good show. I think it was a good showcase to have all of these women out there. I just don't think it. I think Anna Jay being teamed with Willow Statlander and Thunder didn't really fit.
No.
She looked like the odd one out in that lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. As ABJ said on his stream, it was definitely a classic case of heels versus baby faces. That's all I've really got to say about that.
I wish they hurry up with Stokely and Statlander because that's getting stupid. Joined our ROH.
Yeah. Next match was Roddy Strong versus Brian Keith.
Brian Keith's been getting some ring time, hasn't he?
Yep, he's had quite a few matches in the past few weeks. He got a title shot at was it Collision? Yeah, he got a title shot at Collision after an ROH match. And he's definitely showcasing. I think he's got a bright future in the company. I think he has a potential to be a great future pure champion or a international champion.
Yeah, it's been a great match with Roderick and Brian, and I enjoyed the match.
Yeah.
And
we got at the end of that, we obviously got Adam Cole speaking, basically reiterating what he said last week about them having the tag titles, Roddy going for the international, and Wardlow and Cole going for the world title.
I think go ahead, sir.
I think that they saved the world title situation for very much later in the year.
Yeah.
I don't think it happens anytime soon.
I think they're going to have a great year. Undisputed Kingdom now.
I think if they're going to do it, as much as I think what's going to happen, it will be Wardlow going for the title, and MJF will cost Wardlow the title. Therefore, screwing over C. Henry. Brian Keith has a bright future as a jobber.
Brian Keith's a good wrestler. I don't think I would consider him as a jobber.
Yeah. I think MJF will cost Wardlow the title, therefore costing Adam Cole the title, therefore reigniting that feud between them. So, there's that.
I see a potential blood and guts, maybe.
Maybe. I guess we've got to wait and see how it plays out, see on when MJF comes back.
They said 1 full year.
Long-term storytelling.
Indeed.
Very long-term storytelling.
They got their work cut out for them.
They really do. They've got to be able to hold the momentum of Adam Cole, MJF for a year. And they held it quite well for a couple of months leading up to All In. So,
with WWE with that bloodline and all that and everything, that storyline. See, it's about that same length as the MGF in that storyline. About in between. Yeah.
I'm not going to go into detail on that, but yeah. Next up was Deonna Purrazzo backstage, making her debut on Collision this week against a debuting on Collision Red Velvet. Probably a no point watching match, but
be an entertaining match, but
It'll be good to see Diana on there, but I don't know about, like, I'm not super keen on Red Velvet, so.
Well, she ain't stirring anything right now.
No. Okay, so we're at the hairy end of the night, and that is the main event of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Darby Allin and Sting versus Powerhouse Hobbs and Takeshita. Crowd was really into it.
Yeah. Tornado tag.
Crowd was really into it. It was not a good match.
No, but when Takeshita did that German outside the ring when he caught Darby on that coffin drop, holy cow.
There was some good spots.
On the concrete. Jeez.
There was some terrible spots. And there was some questionable decisions made. The crowd were really into it. I was not happy with the match. I don't think it should have gone the way it did. I think that obviously Darby worked most of the match. Sting tried, looked like he was dying halfway through.
Lord, you got to contend with Hobbs.
At one point, I was very concerned that he was going to pass out and that he was in danger. And then they do an absolutely fucking ridiculous spot to end the match.
Yeah.
I love Sting. I've loved his career. I've loved what he's done. No, that was not good.
No, I think he should have retired at least a year or two ago.
I think he should have. His body is definitely giving up on him. He's starting to look like Flair did when Flair was wrestling at the end of WCW and in his WWN, like, final runs in WWE.
Yeah. I could see, as much as I don't, I love Sting. I'm a big Sting fan.
Yeah.
And I hate to see it like this.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Sting fan. He was my favorite. He's been my favorite wrestler since the first day I saw him.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one of the first times properly watching. Like, when I was young, I used to watch it intermittently, but properly watching it when I was in my early teenage years, my first major memory of it was Sting rappelling from the ropes or from the rafters and kicking Macho Man off of the top rope on Nitro.
I can go way far back on Sting. Back in the UWF days.
Oh, shit.
Yep. Teaming up with the Ultimate Warrior in Eddie Gilbert as a faction.
As the Blade Runners?
Blade Runners, yep.
Yep. See, I don't get me wrong. As I said, I've seen that stuff. I've watched a lot of that stuff. When I was younger, I used to intermittently see wrestling because it wasn't as mainstream as it is now over here. We didn't really get the full catalog of WCW, WWF at the time, like the late 80s, early 90s. It wasn't until around 98, like 97, 98, that wrestling started to pick up that momentum. And it became a lot more popular over here and accessible through the Foxtel network. And obviously I'd been watching snippets, little pieces when I could, and when it was on TV. Mind you, this is months after it's already been on in the US, or hell, even years. But then in 97, 98, they've done the regular shows, weekly shows, and you've got your Attitude Era, you've got your WCW NWO era. I think that has definitely, that's where I've got a major interest in pro wrestling in that regard. So,
yeah. Well, I can tell you how I got hooked on wrestling. I'll tell you that right now. I know I mentioned this on Discord. I was like not even 10 years old.
Yep.
Watched Worldwide Wrestling in the early 80s. And the first match I got watched on TV, I turned on the channel, was the Rock and Roll Express versus the Midnight Express. That's how I got hooked. So,
and which one of those teams went on to continue their legacy?
Yep. Well, they're doing their farewell tour, believe it or not, the Rock and Roll Express is.
Still wrestling to this
Still
day,
wrestling,
almost 40 years later.
They're doing their farewell tour, yep.
Almost 40 years later.
Yep.
I think that spot with Sting giving Hobbs the Scorpion Death Drop off the stage was fucking stupid tonight.
I think he hurt himself too.
He definitely fucking hurt himself.
Yeah.
And the first one of the tables didn't break. The other one essentially just collapsed.
Yeah.
There was a minor break in it, but it just basically collapsed. It didn't really break, if that made sense.
Sting needs to realize he can't do this crap. He can't go jump on ladders. He can't jump on tables. He needs to realize he's not a spring chicken.
Yeah. Jake says his favorite versions of Sting back in the day were the Wolfpack Sting and Joker Sting.
Yeah, the Joker Sting in TNA days. Yeah.
Yeah. Wolfpack Sting definitely brought a lot more vibrance to his character in WCW at the time.
More edgier.
And it was what he needed at that change point, because having him as the Lone Wolf Crow style Sting had worked for so long, but we were coming into a newer era where you had Goldberg and you were trying to build up the younger talent, and you had a different side of things. So, and you needed the fans to evolve, and you needed Sting to evolve with that. One thing Sting's been able to do, much like The Undertaker, is evolve, adapt, and change their character so that they are relevant to the era they're in. Clearly, Joker Sting was aimed at the Batman franchise kids and teens who were watching, and even adults who were there. So, yeah. Now, let's get to the pointy end of the stick.
Yep.
Tony Schiavone's in the ring, asks who he's going to face for his final match. C. Henry has it here. The Young Bucks show up, or return, I should say, and the announcers make it seem like it's going to be Young Bucks versus Darby and Sting at Revolution. What do you think?
I think it's just a swerve. I think it's just a. I wouldn't be happy though if it's Sting and Darby versus Young Bucks. To tell you the truth, the way Sting is wrestling right now, as of late, I won't be surprised to be a tag match.
This is where I was going to go and talk about this, because this is what I wanted to talk about. I think that making it a tag match is probably the best solution that they have now.
Yeah.
Sting is no way capable of holding a quality singles match because he gets gassed very quickly.
Yep.
He gets way too good.
Go ahead.
Sorry?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
he gets winded and gets gassed out way too quickly. You put him in with someone like Takeshita or Hobbs or anyone that's not main WWE guys,
mm-hmm.
and they're going to overwork Sting, and the match is going to look sloppy as hell.
Well, if Sting and them can stop jumping on tables and ladders and all this other crap, maybe Sting can finish a whole match, without injuring himself, But maybe it won't be as winded.
The problem you have if it was Darby Allin is Darby Allin can't hold a match without his environment being used.
Mm-hmm.
Darby Allin needs to use the environment. So Sting versus Darby Allin is not going to work well.
No.
I think putting it as a tag match is probably a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
And it will also give that ability for Sting to take the pinfall, go out on his back.
I'd rather see, though.
Like all wrestlers should.
This might not be a good idea, though. I'd rather have the FDR versus Sting and Darby than the Young Bucks.
It's a good idea in theory.
It's
a good idea in theory.
Because FDR kind of reminds you of Tully and Arn, and Steen has got remember back in the days and all that.
Yeah, like the early 80s, or late 80s, early 90s, the Four Horsemen sort of style. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would be a good idea in theory.
And also it'd be cool if Tully Blanchard returns at ringside. And there's your match.
Well, imagine on that you have Ric Flair, you bring out Tully Blanchard, you bring out Arn Anderson. All three.
I don't think Arn's going to be back, though. I think he quit AEW.
No, he's still with them.
Oh, is he? I thought he resigned.
No, his son no longer works with them, but as far as I know, he's still with them. Alex says, I would love for Sting's final match to have him use classic face paint rather than all the Wolfpack ones and the current ones with his old school Sting paint.
You got to have the spike haircut, too.
We are not dyeing his hair blonde. God, no. God fucking no.
If you want the original face paint back, you at least got to get the spike haircut back.
Imagine they roll out Lex Luger for his final match as well.
But he ain't going to be in physical,
no way.
capacity.
Lex Luger's got no physical ability to do so. No shirt and just his old attire. No.
We don't need Goldberg versus Sting. No.
It may come out of left field, but Goldberg has been complaining about not having a retirement match. Goldberg versus Sting in a 10-minute match. Goldberg would gas himself out in the first 2 minutes. Sting would outlast him in this match. And here I was saying Sting gets gassed out. Sting would outlast Goldberg in this match. I don't think Goldberg is a good choice to end the career of Sting.
No.
I think if you do it, if it was going to be a singles match, Darby Allin probably would have been the best bet. If you have to do it in a tag match, I like the idea of FTR.
I think I'd rather have FTR versus Sting and Darby.
Or could we get a FTR versus the Bucks versus Sting and Darby? That way it takes a little bit of the necessity off of Sting and Darby to do stupid things.
We might have a triple threat tag match. Is that what you're referring to? Well,
Yeah.
it depends what the Young Bucks are capable of doing. You know how they are with ladders and tables.
But at the same time, the Young Bucks can have a match without using
True. True.
the environment. They can have it just focused in the ring.
True. True.
This is the problem. Sting and Darby needs to use the environment. He can't just focus on what's in the ring.
Yeah.
And this is where Darby's career is going to suffer because of it.
Mhm.
He is going to suffer because every single match he needs to fight has to have weapons, has to have the environment used. He gets the shit kicked out of him, thrown around the side of the ring, and just gets absolutely destroyed, but then comes back with a coffin drop and wins.
I just can't stand Darby's finisher.
Right. I think I am in agreement with ABJ here in the fact of Darby needs to work on his in-ring matches.
I agree.
Fuck off with the hardcore stuff. Fuck off with the extreme style, because it gets boring after a while.
He ain't gonna be able to walk much longer.
And he's gonna fuck himself up later in life.
Yeah.
He wanted to do that fucking
Mount Everest.
What's the name? Mount Everest. If he's gonna do that, like, he's gonna kill himself before that.
Yeah.
Okay, instead of Goldberg, get a better wrestler.
No. He's 80 years old. No.
That's almost as good as saying Glenn Gilberti. You know who I mean by that, don't you, Stephen?
Yep. Disco Inferno.
Disco Fever. Look, we could go on and on and on and on about that.
Yes, sir.
I think that putting him in a tag match for his final match after the match they had tonight, probably the smartest move.
Yeah.
If you are still going to give him a singles match and it's going to be Darby, make it in the fucking ring.
Yeah.
Don't allow any of the bullshit. At least he won't kill Sting. You're not wrong there, Alex.
No.
You're not wrong.
Not wrong.
What did you think of the Bucks returning, though?
Well, it's cool to see him return, but I thought that they looked like they're still bitter while they're off on TV and all that. I think one of their wives are leaving the company
with their little pedo mo.
Yeah,
pencil pedo mo's that looked fucking. It was like, yep, you look like you've just stepped off the school bus. It's good to see him back. I'm just, if they are going to do that at Revolution, then so be it.
What is?
They look like they belong parked outside of the middle school. Exactly, Kai. Exactly. All in all, this show for me, not a home run. Yes, just not Jericho's list. More like a Jeffrey Epstein list.
I enjoyed the show, though, but there's some parts I didn't like. You know, they could have done better, you know.
Yeah. I think, all in all, I'd rate this a 6.
Yeah, 6.5
range. There was nothing that was super fantastic about it. The Hangman match was great.
I thought Kai would write that. I thought Kai would say that.
Alex got there before Kai could.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I'd rate this show about a 6 out of 10. Kai reckons a 4.5. I think that there was some good things, but I think what fucked it were the Jericho segment, the Darby and Sting main eventing. They were probably the big things that fucked it. For me.
When I seen Steen and Darby's going to main event, I was like, oh, crap.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie, though. I didn't realize how quick the show went today. It really went pretty quickly.
Fast-paced, yeah.
Yeah. Like, you had a almost 20-minute opening match. The second match was probably about 15 minutes. The third match was about a 5-minute match. The fourth match was about a 6 or 7 minute match. The Roddy Strong match was about 3.5, 4 minutes. And Darby and Sting went for about not even 10 minutes.
I'd say about 10 minutes, yeah.
It wasn't even 10 minutes because Darby and Sting's entrance was at 9:48 p.m.
Well, you got enough to take 4 or 5 minutes to get to the ring.
Yeah, and the match started about 2 minutes after that. So, and they finished the match about a minute before the 10 o'clock hour.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had the whole segment with the Bucks and stuff, was a time to kill segment. What if during the tag match we see the Bucks attack Sammy and Jericho, cost them their little pedo stashes and turn heel again if they're supposedly still faces? I think by them coming out tonight, they're supposed to be the heels.
The Bucks are heels, yes.
Yeah.
And they also add some matches, either Rampage or Collision. They're going to do Wheeler Yuta versus Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, we got there's some big stuff coming up. This weekend's going to be huge for wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you've got SmackDown, you've got Rampage. I mean, SmackDown's not going to be super fantastic because it's WWE and it's just SmackDown. You've got Rampage. Rampage probably ain't going to be super exciting.
Unless the Yuta and Kingston match is on Rampage.
If that's on Rampage, then that will probably be exciting. Give me a second. I should be able to tell you what's going to be on Rampage.
I know they added a Battle of the Belts match, too. They added Julia Hart versus Red Velvet for her TBS title.
Yeah.
Or Battle of the Belts.
Rampage. Where the fuck is Rampage? Sorry, I'm looking for...
No problem, bud. No problem. Drink here.
Is that the one that's already been on, or is that coming? No, that's already on. So no, don't play it. Can't do that. That was going to cost us if we did that.
Don't want to play it. Please note about Saturday. They got TNA's got a pay-per-view.
Yep, you've got TNA's Hard to Kill pay-per-view with all new belts being unveiled this week. You've got who's on that card? You've got
Alexander versus Hammerstone.
Yep, you've got Trinity defending her title. You've got
Triple Threat X Division title. Sabin, Kushida.
Sabin versus Kushida and Vikingo.
Vikino. Yep.
You got Dirty Dango versus
PCO.
You've got the Ultimate X or the Knockouts Ultimate X match to determine the number one contender. The GYV versus a team to be announced.
You got the Fatal 4-Way Tag Title match. ABC, Rascals, Grizzled Young Vets, and Trent Seven and Speedball.
Okay, so yeah, this isn't updated yet. I'm looking at the... but that's on Saturday at 12 o'clock. Then on Saturday also, but at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, is the absolute fucking beautiful card, which is New Japan's Battle for the Valley.
Great card.
Battle in the Valley.
Great card.
Which you have Shingo Takagi taking on John Moxley. For the American Triple Crown Championship, you have Eddie Kingston versus Gabe Kidd. In a tag team match, you've got someone who I don't like and wears no shoes to the ring, and his tag team partner versus TMDK, which is Zack Sabre Jr. and the bad dude Tito.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if it's Tanahashi.
You've got the New Japan Strong Women's Championship, Trish Adora versus Julia. You've got a tag team match for the Strong Openweight Championship in the Gorillas of Destiny, Hikuleo and El Phantasmo versus the Bullet Club War Dogs, Clark Connor and Alex Coughlin. You've got TJP versus David Finlay.
That's going to be a great match.
In a tag match, you've got Dorada and Volador Jr. versus Rocky Romero and Sobrano Jr. In a six-man tag match, you've got Jacob Partu, Fred Rosser, and Shota Umino versus Tom Laylor or Lawler, Jarrell Nelson, and Royce Isaacs. And you also have the main event of that match being the Will Ospreay versus Ospreay versus Kazuchika Okada.
The Rainmaker.
The Rainmaker versus the Aerial Assassin.
It's going to be a great match. Could probably go 45 minutes to an hour.
Kai reckons that if Julia's leaving soon, so she's probably losing the belt.
I remember seeing Trish Adora wrestled in AEW, right?
Yeah, Trish Adora wrestled in AEW just the other week, actually.
Yeah.
And it was against Julia Hart, I think.
No, I think she wrestled. Did she wrestle Mariah May?
No, that was Queen.
Queen Amanita. Yeah. Wrong
Queen
one.
Amanita. Trish Adora.
Or did she wrestle Abaddon, maybe?
Yes, Abaddon.
Abaddon, yes.
Trish Adora versus Abaddon about a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, a lot of wrestling Saturday night.
Yeah. Saturday's a huge weekend of wrestling this weekend. Only leading up to another huge weekend in a few weeks' time where we have the Royal Rumble.
And not only that, though, if you're sports fans across America, NFL playoffs start. Football.
If you enjoy that, go American sports. Go American sports, but that's Stephen's own show to talk about. So
yeah.
That's a show that will be coming up in a few weeks. We'll start the Stephen talks about NFL. Anybody who wants to be here for that, tune in, and it'll be on my channel, but it will be Stephen hosting an NFL show.
Yeah, hey, I need Jake the Aerial Assassin to join me too.
Yep. But Jake needs to make sure
there you go.
Jake needs to make sure that his account doesn't get hacked again.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Yep.
Because if that happens, then you're going to have God knows who coming in. Yeah, all in all, we have a good weekend of wrestling coming up.
Oh, yeah.
On Collision on Saturday, you've also got the fact of Copeland having an open challenge match. You've got quite a few matches coming up for Collision. They announced a couple of things for Collision this week.
Man, I didn't like Collision this past Saturday. It was absolutely terrible show.
I didn't actually watch it, so
it was. I watched it and I told Anastasia, this show was absolutely horrible.
Was it?
Raz would thank me, tell you not to watch it. It was absolutely horrible. My opinion.
Don't do that, Anastasia. Fucking Christ.
What?
She just found a pop for me, one of the Power Rangers pops, because I got this one today.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Hold on, let me turn the ring light off for a second.
Got the White Ranger? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the new White Ranger one, which is a for the 30th anniversary. But there's one that's available, and it's a glow-in-the-dark version, and she just found it on eBay. But you don't want to know how much it is.
I've seen they got the new pop of Triple H and Shawn Michaels in a wrestling ring.
You don't want to know how much the White Ranger pop is on eBay, or how much someone's asking for.
At least $100, I bet.
It's signed. It's a signed pop. It's signed twice by Jason David Frank.
At least $1,000. Higher? 5, 10, 20, 15 grand. Jeez.
15,000 American dollars.
To buy a car.
Yeah. 15,000 American dollars.
Jeez.
And in Australian dollars, that's $22,441.65.
Oh, Alex got something you would like.
The glow-in-the-dark fiend.
Yeah, pop, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that one.
If you look behind me, right next to the Sting and Luger is the glow-in-the-dark Christmas fiend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's actually right behind me. I do actually have that. That was the last ever Fiend merchandise that WWE created after Bray Wyatt was released from the company.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that was the last Fiend merchandise they actually ever released for it. Kai says, like Julia basically announced on Stardom that she's disbanding her faction and she's not sticking around much longer. Then Mai Sakura just said she's sticking with Julia. Kai, do you think that she could just be playing you? Could she just be playing you? I mean, obviously she's got the potential of earning WWE money, but could she just be playing you? Kai's going to have a fucking meltdown if she is.
And what if they pulled that if Julia's not coming to WWE and Mercedes shows up?
Oh, shoot me in the face. This is the thing. If Mercedes shows up, she has to show up as Sasha Banks in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Why the hell would she trademark and get copyrights on her own shit?
Probably get people thinking, I guess.
Like, to me, copyrights and trademarks on your own shit means that you're not going to WWE because they want to own the rights to you.
Yeah, I sure like these wrestling reporters saying that Mercedes is going to get signed and could show up this week.
At the end of the day, wherever she goes is wherever she goes. Yeah. I don't really want to see her in AEW, but I also know that she would bring a bit of legitimacy to the division because of the fact that people will look at it and go, she's former WWE, so she's got to be good. Well, not always the fucking case.
Mercedes in AEW, yes, they'll make the roster stronger, but my concern is how TK is going to be booking her.
My concern is if they are paying her $5 million a year for 5 years, that's fucked.
And not only that,
as ABJ said, if you're paying $25 million a year, you can easily go and get half the fucking indie talent that's out there and fill your roster. You could fill your roster with every single independent talent that is available these days.
You got great indie wrestlers out there. Give them a chance. You're
not wrong. Kai says, I highly doubt it. All signs are going to WWE. She's going more towards hinting it without saying it. And with Triple H saying at the SS press conference that he wants her as she's the best, and they've offered her extremely high.
I get Triple H. I guess he's trying to get her before AEW gets her.
The thing is, a lot of people thought that that's where Ospreay was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
TNA offered a 7-figure fucking sum for Ospreay, and he still went to AEW. People thought that what was going to happen was that Ospreay was going to show up at Survivor Series. Not Survivor Series, SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, not SummerSlam, fucking Clash in the Castle.
Yeah, we're in the yeah.
But no, he didn't. And he was putting out teasers of facing Seth Rollins and all that shit. At the end of the day, we don't know where they're going to end up. She said she has zero interest in AEW.
Good on her. What I'm worried about if Ospreay goes to WWE, at the time, I'm worried about that WWE would ask him to get rid of half his arsenal because he won't be able to do those maneuvers anymore.
You're not wrong. WWE is a better option for Mercedes. She has friends there. Her best friend Bailey is there, and Trinity is expected to return to the company at the end of this month. Yeah, I agree with you there. Her option is better at WWE, but she's walked out on the company twice.
And not only that, though, she's asking for Charlotte money, and WWE's not going to give it to her.
She ain't worth Charlotte money. I don't even think Charlotte's worth Charlotte money. Don't get me wrong. I'm not being here saying that she's
I see what you're saying.
I'm not saying she's not a great athlete. I'm saying that money-wise, she probably doesn't bring in as much as they're paying that she should. This is going to get us cancelled. The women's
speak your mind, buddy. Speak your mind.
The women's sports debate on why don't women's sports get paid equal to men's sports?
Mm-hmm.
Do women's sports bring in the same amount of eyes on the product as the men's product?
Mm-hmm.
Let's use your NFL as an example.
Okay.
Your NFL, it's been around for 60 years, roughly. I'm taking a guess here. I don't know. You're going to have to help me here, Stephen.
It's been here longer than 60 years.
Okay. But it's been men at the forefront. They've built a historic legacy of what it's about. the qualities of the games have been obviously good to keep investing and getting more money back from. Is there a women's NFL league?
No, but they used to have a lingerie league.
Yeah.
But not no more.
And who would watch the lingerie league? It would be men, wouldn't it?
Probably, yes.
Now, did that investment of the lingerie league, did that bring in as much money as the NFL?
I really don't know.
Were people watching it for the quality of the sport, or were they just watching it because there was tits out?
A little bit of both, probably.
I'm betting 99% of the guys that were watching it were sitting there with bat in hand because the tits were out and you got to see them bouncing around on the field. The way it is does it draw money? Can it draw money? Can it bring money into the company? Would you pay to go see? What would you rather pay to go see? Roman versus Rock or Charlotte versus Becky?
Tough question.
What are people going to pay more to go see? Be honest.
Well, probably Roman versus Brock.
Because you've got a story there, you've got people looking at it and girls getting attracted to the guys that are there, and the guys go because because the women are there and they're spending money to get drunk and enjoy it and stuff like that. I'm not saying women's wrestling is bad. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying you put Roman versus Rock and Becky versus Charlotte up against each other, which one's going to have more viewers and which one's going to draw more attention to it?
The women.
Roman versus Rock.
Yeah.
You can say it, Stephen. You're not going to get cancelled. It's going to come back on there.
I'm just trying to totally get out of trouble here.
I know you're trying to stay out of trouble, and I appreciate it, Stephen. At the end of the day, women's sports don't bring in the amount of money that men's sports bring in. And that's why I say not even Charlotte is worth Charlotte money. Does she put butts in seats in regards to the women's division? Yes. Does she bring a hold on. That's a once-in-a-lifetime type match with a multi-built story that includes a massive Hollywood star against a match we've seen 1,000 times.
Sorry, Jake. Mercedes is not worth more money than Charlotte. That's a different story.
Yeah. I even don't think that Rock versus Roman is worth the amount of money that they get paid. I think that some of the, don't get me wrong, I'm all for sports stars having an income, a livable income. But I don't think that sports stars deserve to be paid millions and millions and millions of dollars for throwing a ball around, hitting a ball.
It's getting ridiculous. $50 million a year for some athletes.
Yeah, kicking a ball. I don't think one person is worth that. What are you going to do with $50 million a year? That, yes, it leads you into an extravagant lifestyle, leads you into hardcore drugs and shit like that. So you're definitely spending money.
Just hear the baseball bat.
But you don't need that. You don't need that. But I'm going to end it here because we are getting cancelled very, very quickly.
We're gonna be here, buddy. We're gonna be here.
We always find a way around it. I insulted Taylor Swift last week, and we're still here.
No, I thought we were gonna get canceled last week with Kai last week in the comments.
Taylor Swift is still shit. Speaking of people who earn way too much money, Taylor fucking Swift and Beyonce fucking Knowles. Those two earn way too much money. Beyonce earns too much. Taylor Swift earns too much. Fucking yeah. I'm not going there because
I don't think we ain't gonna see Raz go see a Taylor Swift concert after All In.
You might see a blank space instead. Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Alex, for being on the Twitch side. Thank you, Kai, for your input. I really appreciate it. Jake, you too. Ricky, if you're still here, thank you. C. Henry, once again, thank you as well. Thank you everyone for tuning in and being a part of the show. I really appreciate it. Don't say 50 as in 50 Cent because he got shot and still lived to earn that money. You're not wrong there. I've been Raz. You can find me at RazDarkWolf on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, fucking here on YouTube, Twitch, obviously, because that's where Alex is seeing me. Stephen is at NomsGiant74 on Instagram. He hasn't got much content on there yet, but give him some time. Give him some time. He's growing. He's just new to the content game.
I'm just new, guys. Give me some time.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Who knows? There might be an NFL show coming from Stephen.
If he's interested. Never say never.
He might do. He might have his own show here on my channel. I'm happy for him to use my channel to put some content over if you want.
Possibilities here.
You're growing with a cheeky face.
Hey, the only thing I wish I'm growing is right here.
I think he meant in your pants.
I know.
Alex is trying to get us cancelled next week. Tell all the Taylor Swift fans, tell all the Beyonce Noel fans to come and try and cancel me, and I'll tell them to suck a fat one. Appreciate all of you. It has been a good day. We are going to get out of here. Have a wonderful evening. Where the fuck is that video? Got anything else that you need to say before we go?
No, you don't, buddy. I'm all good, man.
Fuck it. We're done. We will see you next time.
See you guys.